Hi, it's me again. What a lovely day for sitting in the park. How beautiful it is out here today. I don't think we've got many lovely days left this year, so I thought I'd take advantage of it while we can. Now, a couple of things to talk about, as usual. And I've got to sit down today because I've got one of these stupid phones that folds out and I can't really do it one-handed. I'm not keeping it, it's rubbish. Anyway, this one tickled me when I saw it in the papers this morning. Look, BBC denies wasting money on dozens of weather presenters. Yeah, it's not one I really thought about, to be honest. I mean, I know they were quite wasteful with their staffing numbers. They're well known for it, aren't they, the BBC? Well known for wasting money on staff. But you don't really think about that, do you? Now, I'm not saying let's get rid of all the weather presenters. I'm just saying, it says here, look, senior figures inside the corporation say the broadcaster employed about 24 full-time weather presenters, but strongly deny criticism it was wasting licence fee payers' money by employing too many. The BBC dismissed reports that it employs a total of 45 such presenters on local and national TV as well as radio stations. At least half of them were used as emergency cover for sickness and holiday absences. So they denied having 45 full-time weather people around the country and said they have 24. But did that just say there that they have used 45? Because obviously you've got to have cover. You know, if, let's say, BBC Radio Essex has one weather person, what happens when that one weather person goes on holiday? They need a cover weather person. That's two people who have been employed. I don't know. Are they needed? Is this another one where it's just so wasteful? I don't know. It's interesting, isn't it? My thoughts on it would be, if I was running a corporation which is running at a £300 million plus loss every year, I would look at every possible opportunity to cut costs. And if that's one way you can cut costs, you know, I mean, I don't think they're rushed off their feet, but then there's probably more to it than I would imagine. You got to read charts and stuff like that. Or do they have to be meteorologically, good word, I'm not sure it's a real word, it's a big one for me, trained? Or do they just, the Met Office just send them a briefing and they just read that? I don't know. And if you've got like a couple of people doing the whole country, that's a lot of research that's got to be done, I guess. Unless, of course, they are just reading Met Office briefings, in which case there's no work at all. That's an interesting one. It's an interesting one, isn't it? You've got to do the weather for the whole country. Do we need weather people? Is another question. Well, they've got the weather app, it's quite popular. Even I use the BBC weather app. Yeah, don't know. So if it's moving about a lot, I'm sorry, I can't one-hand it. This stupid folding phone. It's rubbish. I've got this one as well. This one's worth talking about, I think. This is from National World. I'm not sure what kind of publication that is. BBC, now is the time to make the most of your TV licence before things change drastically in 2024. I don't think it's going to change drastically. It's going to go up. Sounds a bit overly dramatic. Or maybe they know something I don't. I think it's going to go on your tax or go right up rather than just a few quid up. I don't know. But there was a line in here that's worth talking about. I've read the whole, well, I've skimmed the whole article looking for something that isn't here. And you're probably going to guess what that'll be in a second. And yes, in the middle of a cost of living crisis, £159 to watch TV is expensive. But as BBC bosses have pointed out, it costs 44p a day and works out just over 13 quid a month. Not too different from your Netflix subscription, is it? It's a bit different. It's a bit different because you don't have to pay Netflix in order to be able to watch Amazon Prime. Yeah. Whereas, even if you don't want to watch the BBC, you still have to give them 159 quid a year if you want to watch anything else that's been broadcast. But anyway, let's not forget, it also includes access to exclusive things, football highlights, match of day, blah, blah, blah. And then again, the BBC fee isn't optional. And if you don't pay it, you'll end up in court. Now, you know what I'm going to say about that. As long as you don't watch a recording of anything that's been broadcast, use BBC iPlayer, you don't have to pay it, and you won't end up in court. As long as you're playing a straight game. And you keep your gob shut if you get a visitor knock on your door. So I read the rest of this. And it's going on that some predict there'll be a substantial price hike of 8.7%. So the figure you pay for your license next year will actually be close to 200 at around 172, blah, blah, blah. It goes on and on and on and on. And then it gets to the point here. I'm guessing these are here. I don't want to misgender anybody. It says here, BBC currently has to offer in a year or so. It may look too expensive for many of us to enjoy it. As suggested earlier, it may be a case of fitting the TV license in the same bracket as your Disney and Netflix subscriptions and deciding where your money is best spent on what you watch. If you feel like you miss out on too much without a TV license, while of course bearing in mind even if you watch live TV at home, blah blah blah. So, hang on. It says there, missing out on without a TV license, without giving any information at all of what you would miss out on. And then it says up there, if you don't pay it, you'll end up in court. This is the problem. Hang on, I'll try and fold this stupid phone up. This is the problem with the TV licensing thing. It's the mixed messages, and TV licensing like to keep it purposely confusing, don't they? Because it's selling licenses if you're confused. That one article is massively confused. In 1 second it's saying, if you don't pay it, you'll end up in court. Okay. And the other point is saying, well, you don't want to, what are you going to miss if you don't pay it? I thought you said I had to pay it or I'll be in court. It doesn't make any sense, does it? It's just the messaging from the media and from TV licensing is purposely confusing. They do it on purpose, and it doesn't need to be confusing, does it? It's so simple. It could just be the big banner on the TV licensing website. If you watch a recording that's been broadcast or use BBC iPlayer, pay us. If you don't want to do those things, don't pay us. It's that simple. Yeah, I don't know. I just thought it was interesting. I see sometimes you see like a well-written article, and I know it's in National World, so probably not many people have seen it. I may very well be the only person that's seen it, but it's just, it's an example of the knackered messaging that's out there for this whole thing. And have a look, hydrogen's looking good today in the mud. It's just an example of the nightmare that is TV licensing, and that's why so many people still pay it, because they're confused as to what you can and can't watch. Even my own mother couldn't fully understand it when she gets a free one now. Come here. She gets a free one now, but she didn't always. And even she struggled to understand it with me explaining it to her. There needs to be clear messaging. That was the one we talked about on Mumsnet the other day, wasn't it? Where someone was thinking about cancelling it. They're on the TV licensing website, and it says if you watch ITV or Channel 4 live on the catch-up apps, you have to pay it. And they're like, see, it says I can't watch the catch-up apps. No, it says you can't watch anything live on the catch-up apps. But they're not going to make that clearer because they'd sell less licenses. Don't know. The PR machine is in full go, isn't it, for TV licensing? And I've got to try and fight against that. I'm going to do some more leaflets, I think. I haven't done leafleting for a while. Got to do that. I've just been a bit off the boil with that part of things because I'm busy working that. Then do leafleting. I think I'll do another social media campaign at some point, spend some money on some ads for that, see what happens. This camera seems a bit overexposed today, do you not think? Don't know. Well, I'm going to go back to work, I think, and keep clicking and typing so that I can pay for petrol, crisps and golf balls. Hello, mate.
Hello.
So, yeah, I don't know. Let me know what you think about this. The weather presenter one is interesting. How many do you need? So, I don't work in telly, so I don't know how it all works. But 24, full-time, 45 with the fill-in, is that what it meant? Or is it just 24 full-time? Does the weather change that much around the country that you need that many? I don't know. Let me know your thoughts on it down in the comments below. God, I'm knackered after walking up that hill. As always, thanks for watching. Hit the buttons below. And I'll see you in the next one. Whenever that will be. Ta-da!